Reverend Jesse Jackson is holding the Jonesboro Police Department 100% accountable for the death of Chavis Carter. Carter is the 21-year-old South Haven man who died from a gunshot wound. It happened in the back seat of a Jonesboro police car while Chavis was handcuffed. The Arkansas State Crime Lab ruled it a suicide. Reverend Jackson says he's joining the Carter family tonight to fight for justice. ABC 24's Jackie Orozco reports Jackson wants the FBI and the Department of Justice to get involved in this case. Jackie joins us live in the Operations Center. Jackie.
Joyce, Reverend Jesse Jackson says a 1983 Civil Rights Act applies to the Carter case. The law calls for a special prosecutor to hold the Jonesboro Police Department accountable for the murder of Chavis Carter.
We know he was in police custody. He died in police custody. We know the explanation is unacceptable because it is a Houdini explanation.
Reverend Jesse Jackson is talking about the Jonesboro Police Department. He says it's hard to believe the cop's story that Chavis Carter killed himself when he was frisked twice, handcuffed, and then 3 minutes of dash cam video is missing during the time of the shooting.
President Nixon had a gap in his tape. It's not unusual for people who are trying to cover up to have convenient gaps in their tapes. It really is a gap in the truth.
This week, Carter's autopsy report was released. It revealed a list of drugs in his system. The medical examiner ruled his death suicide. The family's seen the report and doesn't agree.
Down through the years, we've known cases of homicide, suicide. The murdered person was not there to tell their side of the story. And we do not accept these various rush to judgment theories by the local officials in Jonesboro to exonerate themselves from the responsibility.
Reverend Jesse Jackson has seen the South's progress in the last 50 years, but says it's stories like these that push all their efforts back to pre-civil rights days.
We must end the violence, and the violence will end us.
Now coming up at 6, hear from a pharmacist who says the drugs found in Carter's system can lead to a long list of side effects, even thoughts of suicide. Jackie Orozco, ABC 24 News. The director of pharmacy at Baptist Women's Hospital saw Chavis Carter's toxicology report. It says Carter took prescription drugs that were mainly depressants and can cause several side effects, including suicidal thoughts.
They're all what we call psychoactive drugs. They can affect the brain in paradoxical ways, either stimulate or depress, cause mental confusion and cloudiness, unclearness of thought.
Dr. John Bridges has been practicing pharmacy for more than 35 years. Once he saw Chavis Carter's lab results, he knew the drugs the 21-year-old had in his system were dangerous.
Given alone, these drugs can be used safely and they have appropriate use, but when you start mixing drugs such as benzodiazepines, Valium and Xanax, with other drugs like oxycodone, both of them are central nervous system depressants. It's a bad combination. When you start combining drugs, you don't necessarily know what side effects that you will have.
Dr. Bridges says these drugs are designed to treat anxiety and pain, but many people abuse them. He says some of the side effects can lead to depression and even suicide. The Carter's family lawyer disagrees.
Those were very minimal amounts in the autopsy report, and once again, I'll point, did you see anything in that video that looked like a man that was not acting normal? I mean, he was challenging the officers about the events that were unfolding. He was asking questions. I mean, I think those were all the normal things that you expect to see with someone in that event.
We don't know how long Carter abused these drugs, but Dr. Bridges says even the smallest amounts can change someone's behavior.
You may be taking something and over a period of time, it won't affect you hardly at all, except maybe the way that you feel inside. But people outside, you may not know that you're even taking it because of that tolerance.
Carter also tested positive for amphetamines. Dr. Bridges says you can find that in Ritalin and Adderall, all highly addicting. Jackie Orozco, ABC 24 News.